middle of the night in Surrey, British Columbia. A 19-year-old student left the library to head home. Just minutes later, she was found with severe injuries caused by a dangerous object.
Shots fired here at this area on the third floor of this parkade. Uniformed officers attended, and they did locate an adult female, 19 years of age, located here behind me.
The person once familiar to her is exposed through a white car and ultimately paid the price with a prison sentence.
Suffering from what can only be described as significant and multiple gunshot wounds.
Maple Batalia was born on March 4th, 1992, in Mumbai, India, and immigrated with her family to Surrey, British Columbia, when she was a child. The youngest in a Punjabi family, Maple was deeply loved by her parents and two older siblings. She attended Enver Creek Secondary School and later Simon Fraser University, where she majored in health sciences with the dream of becoming a doctor. Friends described her as intelligent, full of energy, and warm-hearted, someone who was always ready to help, listen, and bring joy to others. Maple loved life, had a passion for the arts, and believed that with determination, she could turn her big dreams into reality. Alongside her studies, she pursued her creative interests in modeling and acting. She appeared in the 2010 film Diary of a Wimpy Kid and an episode of The Secret Circle on the CW, beginning to make her mark in the entertainment industry. With her natural beauty, confidence, and ambition, Maple quickly became an inspiration for many young people of her generation. She had officially signed with a well-known modeling agency and was overjoyed when she learned that she had made it to the finals of a model search competition at Central City. The head of the agency described her by saying, "Maple is an extremely intelligent, articulate, and focused young woman, and probably one of the most likable people you'll ever meet." At the same time, she had just earned a prestigious spot at Simon Fraser University, choosing to live with her family in Surrey and commute to campus each day. Although she was devoted to her health sciences major, with the goal of applying to medical school after graduation, Maple also confided in friends that her passion for acting was so strong, she didn't want to rule out the possibility of turning it into her full-time career. At 19, she embodied determination and the perfect balance between education, passion, and family. She embraced every challenge, welcomed every opportunity with a radiant smile, and believed wholeheartedly that her future was wide open ahead of her. Maple had been in an on-and-off relationship for 4 years with 20-year-old Gurjinder Dhaliwal, whom friends often called Gary. At first, the two were seen as a young, vibrant, and devoted couple. But over time, conflicts and a lack of trust began to surface. By 2011, everything fell apart when Maple discovered that Gary had not been honest with her. The heartbreak deeply affected her. But instead of letting sadness consume her, Maple chose to rise above it. She poured all her time into her studies, modeling projects, and part-time job. She believed that only by focusing on her future could she truly heal and find herself again, refusing to let pain hold her back from moving forward. On the evening of September 27, 2011, Maple left home with a close friend and went to the Simon Fraser University campus library at Central City, a place she often visited to study before exams. They planned to stay late and were joined by a few other students they knew. The atmosphere inside the library was calm, filled only with the quiet sounds of typing and pages turning, while Maple worked diligently, occasionally smiling and chatting with her friends. As the clock approached the early hours of the next morning, the group decided to wrap up and head home to rest. Maple packed up her books, hugged everyone goodbye, and walked toward her car, which was parked on the third level of the Central City campus parking structure. Just a few minutes after 1 a.m., a resident living across from the campus suddenly heard 7 loud noises echoing through the stillness of the night. Rushing to the window, he saw a white Dodge Charger speeding away from the parking structure. Moments later, several others ran outside, panic spreading as calls flooded the emergency line. When authorities arrived, they found Maple lying motionless near her car, surrounded by clear signs that she had just suffered a severe attack. Her body showed multiple serious injuries, along with evidence indicating that the perpetrator had used a dangerous object at close range. A sharp object bearing traces of evidence was found nearby. Though gravely wounded, Maple was still barely breathing. Paramedics and police arrived within minutes of the first calls, doing everything they could to stabilize her before rushing her to Surrey Memorial Hospital. But the injuries were far too severe, and Maple passed away just a few hours later, leaving behind unbearable grief for her family and the Simon Fraser University community.
Shots fired here at this area on the third floor of this parkade. Uniformed officers attended, and they did locate an adult female, 19 years of age, located here behind me, suffering from what can only be described as significant and multiple gunshot wounds. Those 2 uniformed officers did everything they could in an effort to save this young lady's life while they waited for AHS to attend. We understand the sensitivity here in regards to what the community is feeling and where this occurred, how it may have occurred, and whether there's a link specifically to the SFU campus here. I can confirm that yes, there is a link to the SFU campus in that this 19-year-old girl was an active student here at this campus.
Such a sudden and violent act left everyone in shock, especially because it happened in a public area where students were still coming and going, even late at night. No one could believe that such a serious incident could occur in the middle of a university campus long considered safe. Security camera footage from around the area showed that at the time, several other students were also leaving the library or walking toward the parking structure, just like Maple. Although there were still many students in the area at the time, unfortunately, no one happened to be on the third level of the parking structure, the exact spot where the incident occurred, to witness what had happened to Maple. The next morning, a sense of fear spread across the entire Simon Fraser University campus. Nearly 50 officers from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, IHIT, were deployed to uncover the truth behind the case. Investigators kept early details confidential due to the lack of clear leads, stating that they could not yet determine whether the attack was random or premeditated. At the scene, Maple's wallet was found right beside her, with no signs that any of her belongings had been taken, effectively ruling out robbery as a motive. Authorities also confirmed that the incident appeared unrelated to any organized violent activity in the area. Even so, the police remained cautious in their statements, assuring students and faculty that the campus was still safe. One detective remarked, Aside from the fact that this tragic event took place near Simon Fraser University, we don't believe students or staff need to be overly concerned, as all security measures are being reinforced to the highest level. With tears in their eyes and a trembling voice, the spokesperson for Simon Fraser University announced that the school had immediately arranged counseling services for any students or faculty members affected by the incident, offering support for as long as needed. In the days that followed, a somber atmosphere enveloped the entire campus. Vigils and memorials were held continuously, where friends, professors, and even strangers came together to lay flowers, light candles, and share in the grief. The Surrey community and the university united in honoring Maple, a young woman of great talent and determination, who had inspired so many around her.
It makes you angry in a way that she was just footsteps away from her car. It was just right there, and it just makes you it's like a big shock.
The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team continues to investigate tips in this murder case, but so far no one has been arrested. Officers know there are still people out there in the community who have vital information, and they're pleading with them to come forward.
Just help us get our justice that we deserve. And no daughter, no sister deserves to go through what my sister went through. She was innocent. And for you to stay quiet, it's not the right thing.
Maple's family said that when they first heard the news of the incident, the only person who came to mind was Gary, her 20-year-old ex-boyfriend who had been with her for years. Still, it was hard for them to believe he could go as far as committing such a tragedy. The two had dated since high school, their relationship marked by repeated breakups and reconciliations, with lingering tension in between. But after Maple ended things for good in the fall of 2011, Gary's behavior began to grow unstable and controlling. Her family recalled that he became increasingly jealous, constantly trying to monitor and interfere with Maple's personal life. Police were informed that Gary had been stalking her, sending endless messages and making repeated phone calls, behavior that became so obsessive it made Maple feel threatened whenever she stepped outside her home. From mid-August to late September 2011, Gary repeatedly tried to reach Maple through every possible means. He made more than 2,000 phone calls and sent thousands of text messages, sometimes messaging her hundreds of times in a single night just to track where she was and who she was with. His obsession grew increasingly alarming. Gary began following Maple and even asked friends to watch her and take note of the places she went. During one night out with friends at a club, he became hostile upon seeing her group. He verbally insulted one person and physically attacked another after spotting Maple talking to them at a cafe. When Maple tried to intervene, he shoved her forcefully to the ground. She immediately reported the incident to the police, and Gary was arrested, charged with violent behavior, and issued a no-contact order. Ironically, the friend who was assaulted that night was the same person who had been studying late with Maple at the library on the night of the tragedy, just a few weeks later. At that time, police still had no direct witnesses and no clear evidence placing Gary on campus the night the incident occurred, leaving the investigation at a standstill. However, one crucial detail soon became the turning point. A nearby resident reported seeing a car believed to be the one speeding away from the scene, a white Dodge Charger, racing off at about 1:04 a.m. The witness also clearly remembered the direction in which the vehicle was headed, allowing police to narrow down the possible escape route. Although the license plate was not visible, investigators took advantage of the extensive surveillance system around Simon Fraser University and the Central City area. With nearly 100 high-quality security cameras, they began tracing the mysterious car's movements frame by frame, minute by minute, hoping to uncover the clue that would finally break the silence surrounding the case. Investigators decided to release part of the footage extracted from the surveillance system and urged anyone appearing in the video to contact them, even if they could only share the smallest detail. When reviewing the full video from that night, they saw Maple in the library with her friends. She was smiling, laughing, and studying cheerfully, appearing completely relaxed and showing no signs of being followed or disturbed. Everyone could clearly see the image of a young, vibrant woman, just like any other student on campus. Around 1 a.m., Maple and 3 friends left the library. Although the video had no sound, their body language reflected a calm, friendly, and safe atmosphere. School staff quickly assisted police in identifying those who had been with Maple that night, and all of them willingly cooperated, providing detailed statements about when they parted ways. After verification, officers officially ruled them out as suspects. According to the timeline captured by the cameras, Maple said goodbye to her friends just a few minutes before leaving the building and walking toward the parking structure where the tragedy took place. The security camera on the 3rd level of the parking structure was programmed to automatically pan across the entire area every few minutes. Unfortunately, at the very moment Maple entered the level, the lens had rotated in another direction, preventing police from capturing the crucial seconds of that encounter. However, when reviewing earlier footage, investigators discovered a striking detail. That same evening, shortly after 8 p.m., a white Dodge Charger, matching the witness's description, was seen entering the parking area. The vehicle did not park immediately, but circled for quite some time, seemingly surveying the surroundings before stopping at a spot with a clear view of the library entrance. When the car came to a halt, the camera coincidentally recorded Maple and her friend walking into the frame. This indicated that the person inside the vehicle knew Maple would be there that night and had been monitoring her movements. This was not a random or impulsive attack. It was a carefully planned act, with every detail calculated in advance, reflecting the deliberate intent and cold precision of the individual behind the tragedy.
We begin with an emotional vigil in Surrey tonight. More than 100 people held an event to remember Maple Batalia. It's been a year since she was shot to death, but no one has been arrested.
We know that in a year's time, people will talk. We believe that people have talked about this murder and that may have more information than what they initially had in the beginning stages, and we want those people to come forward, the people that have the intimate knowledge about her homicide.
We always love our angel. It never changed.
And for that person to be out there and be free, and my sister will never come back, it's just not right.
By 2012, even after months had passed, officers remained determined to pursue every possible lead in Maple's case. The biggest challenge was that they still lacked sufficient direct evidence to charge anyone. The investigative team faced an intense and painstaking task, reviewing, cross-referencing, and interviewing every individual in the area who had owned or rented a white Dodge Charger, matching the one seen at the scene. Hundreds of interviews were conducted, with each person gradually being ruled out. Finally, toward the end of 2012, their persistence paid off. Investigators discovered a crucial connection. The name Gurjinder Binning was linked to a rental vehicle that matched the description. Gurjinder, 21 years old, was a close friend of Gary's and also a student in the area. Records showed that he had rented a white Dodge Charger on September 25, 2011, and returned it right after September 28th, just one day after Maple was attacked. Even more suspiciously, when picking up the car, Gurjinder had been accompanied by Gary, and only a few hours after the tragedy occurred, he took the vehicle to be cleaned, a move that immediately deepened investigators' suspicions. When tracing the records from the rental company, police were able to identify the exact white Dodge Charger that Gurjinder Binning had used. Although the vehicle had been thoroughly cleaned, forensic experts discovered a crucial piece of evidence hidden beneath the hood, a spent shell casing that matched perfectly with those recovered from the crime scene. This discovery became the missing puzzle piece investigators had been hoping for over a year. After strengthening their case and confirming all related details, on December 1, 2012, authorities officially announced that they had made not one but 2 arrests. It was a major breakthrough in the pursuit of justice for Maple Batalia, the talented and promising young woman whose future had been taken away in a tragedy that left the entire community in shock.
Maple Batalia was gunned down on a university campus in September 2011. And since then, she, her family and friends have appealed to the public to help find her killers. Now, police have arrested her ex-boyfriend and another man. The CBC's Dan Burrett has that story.
Maple Batalia's father, Harry, vowed to wear black until he received justice for his daughter's murder. His family joined him in black and a little closer to justice, now that 2 men have been charged in the death of their daughter and sister.
This isn't an easy day for us. It's very bittersweet, but although we can't bring Maple back, we're happy to see that the people that are responsible for this are now going to suffer the consequences.
I can tell you that I knew this day would come. I knew that to be true because I know that every day we commit to ensuring that justice and the rule of law prevails.
After a lengthy investigation and the collection of sufficient evidence, police officially charged Maple's ex-boyfriend, Gary Dhaliwal, with intentionally causing the tragedy at the highest level of severity. Meanwhile, his close friend, Gurjinder Binning, was arrested and charged with assisting in the crime, including tracking Maple's movements for several days before the incident, helping Gary flee the scene immediately afterward, taking the car to be washed to erase evidence, and providing him with a false alibi for months. Although investigators conducted extensive searches, the dangerous object believed to have been used in the attack was never recovered. These actions revealed that this was not a spontaneous outburst, but a carefully planned act carried out with intent. Gary became consumed by jealousy and control when he realized that Maple had truly moved on, focusing on her studies, career, and new social connections. Her life no longer revolved around him, and for someone as insecure and possessive as Gary, that loss of control felt unbearable. According to Maple's family, he simply couldn't accept that she had chosen freedom and happiness without him in it. Blinded by jealousy and driven by the mindset of, if I can't have her, no one can, he spiraled into an extreme act that led to an irreversible tragedy. For Maple, ending the relationship was a firm decision to protect herself and her future. For Gary, it became a wound to his pride that he could never let go of, one that ultimately turned his hurt into a destructive act that shattered everything.
And she's very happy when she break up with him. It's hard, but she said, I try my best, no more. Maple friend Kiran, she told me, Gary kill Maple, make a bye. But she did. Then the same time I call Gary mom, because she is my friend. Make a your dog kill my daughter. That's why I have message to people. If your son or daughter controlling someone, please Help.
It was nearly 2.5 years ago when 19-year-old Maple Batalia was fatally gunned down in Surrey. Her ex-boyfriend has now been ordered to stand trial.
Both men appeared in court, remaining silent, and neither entered a guilty plea. They were set to be tried together. But 4 long years would pass as the trial was postponed time and time again.
It's too much hard for us. A long wait. It's gone more than 4.5 days now. And now, every day we think, what will happen?
Both Gary Dhaliwal and Gurjinder Binning were brought before the court with cold expressions, remaining silent throughout the first hearing as they both entered pleas of not guilty. The 2 men were set to be tried together in the same proceeding. However, the legal process dragged on far longer than expected. Multiple delays caused by defense requests, evidence challenges, and procedural disputes continually postponed the trial. 4 long years passed in waiting, during which Maple's family endured the pain of delayed justice, while the Surrey community kept asking the same question. When would those responsible for this tragedy finally face the consequences of their actions?
Rosie Batalia leaves court with the sense of closure she sought for more than 4 years.
Thank you to the community members, friends, family who have supported us endlessly through this process. It's been a really long time, and Maple can finally rest in peace knowing that she got some justice. And we just want this to be an example in the community that no matter what you do, it does catch up to you, and justice must be served. And I'm just hoping that she's looking down and is content that she finally got that justice.
There's finality for this family. It's over. There are no appeals. There is no possibility of a new trial being ordered. It's over. It's done with respect to Mr. Dhaliwal, and that is to the benefit of the family.
After years of court proceedings, 27-year-old Gurjinder Binning was found not guilty of directly causing the tragedy, but was convicted for his role as an accessory after the fact. He was determined to have helped Gary conceal his actions, provided a false alibi, and attempted to destroy evidence, all of which prolonged the investigation for more than a year. In the end, Gurjinder was sentenced to 22 months in prison. However, what outraged the public was that he was released early, after serving only about 16 months, 6 months short of his full sentence. The decision left Maple's family heartbroken and furious, believing the punishment was far too lenient considering what Maple had endured and the part Gurjinder had played in the tragedy.
Tonight, from the family of Maple Batalia, one of the 2 men involved in her high-profile 2011 murder has been released from jail.
He was released earlier than expected, leaving Maple's family both furious and heartbroken. Maple's sister tearfully shared that the 18-month sentence felt like a slap in the face to my family. She added that throughout the sentencing hearing, Gurjinder showed no sign of remorse. He remained silent and even smirked in front of them, an act that sent chills through everyone in the courtroom. According to Maple's sister, that look seemed to say he had gotten away with it, that justice for her sister had not been fully served. For the Batalia family, that moment was not only a disappointment in the justice system, but also a fresh wound carved into the pain they would carry for the rest of their lives. It took a full 5 years for Maple's family to finally see justice partially served. Though the case was closed on paper, the echoes of that tragedy still linger in the hearts of Surrey's residents to this day. Maple's passing left not only an unfillable void in her family's hearts, but also a powerful reminder of the devastating consequences of control and jealousy in relationships. In 2017, an emotional true crime documentary about Maple's life and case, directed by Jocelyn Kaur, was released. The film quickly earned multiple awards at major film festivals, serving not only as a tribute to her memory, but also as a call to raise awareness about relationship violence and the importance of protecting young women. To honor Maple's legacy, her family established the Maple Batalia Memorial Scholarship for the Arts, which each year provides a South Asian Canadian female student with the opportunity to pursue her path in art and design, a way for Maple's dreams to live on through the next generation.
Member for Surrey Wally.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Last Saturday, March the 4th, a candlelight vigil took place at Holland Park in Surrey Wally to honor victims of domestic violence. One of the very poignant stories recounted was that of Maple Batalia. Mabel was an extraordinary and vibrant young woman, an SFU student, and also an aspiring actress and model. The Batalia family has responded to the tragedy in a strong and resilient way. And to honor Maple's legacy, the Batalia family has established a bursary to support students in SFU's Health Science Department. Her mother, Sarjeet, told me on Saturday that as a result of her work, the fund now exceeds $100,000. And a separate Maple Batalia Memorial Scholarship for the Arts was also established in partnership with Emily Carr, University of Art and Design. Even after her death, her legacy goes on.
At just 19 years old, Maple had already achieved what many spend a lifetime striving for, and with her determination and unshakable ambition, no one doubted she would have gone on to accomplish even greater things in whatever path she chose. One of Maple's close friends once said with emotion that her passing was like stepping on a flower just before it had the chance to bloom. A heartbreaking image that perfectly captured who Maple was: radiant, full of life, and overflowing with potential. Her father called her the most precious jewel of the family, the one who brought light and joy to everyone around her. He tearfully shared that since Maple was gone, life felt empty and meaningless. "We have nothing left," he said. "We lost our angel, and she will never come back." Though the youngest in the family, Maple had always been the bond that held everyone together, the one whose smile made their home warm, and whose memory remains a lasting source of strength, love, and inspiration for them to keep living and cherishing every moment of life. The story of Maple Batalia is not only a heartbreaking case recorded in Canada's history, but also a powerful reminder of the consequences of control, jealousy, and toxic relationships disguised as love. Maple stands as a symbol of strength, ambition, and youthful light. A young woman who always smiled, full of dreams, yet had her future stolen by someone else's selfishness. From her story, we learn that true love never comes with possession or fear, and when you notice signs of control or abuse, have the courage to speak up and seek help, because silence can sometimes lead to tragedy. Thank you for staying until the end of today's true crime documentary, where we not only tell real cases, but also honor the lives lost and draw meaningful lessons from them. If you were moved by Maple's journey, please share this video to spread the message of love, respect, and justice. Don't forget to leave a comment to remember her. Hit like and subscribe to our channel to continue joining us in upcoming true crime documentary stories. See you in the next video.